Hello.
How's everybody doing today?
Good. I'm just like distracted in Weather Central over here. This is
Yes. Well,
I should have a different. I should have different corners of my rooms that are different things. Like I should have the sports corner over here. This is where I talk sports by the ladder. Have my weather center on the couch or something. And those are the only options. So
Well, you have to have the weather with the window behind you, John, or we don't know you're doing weather.
that's true. I actually think I'm going to do a show in a couple days on my balcony, which will be really interesting with the
Ooh.
train going by. But anyways, let's get into this weather because it is an active situation right now. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here in a moment to show you the radar and what we're dealing with outside right now, where these storms are. So, as you can see, for the most part, the heaviest stuff is in northwest Indiana. Gary getting slammed by what earlier was a severe storm and provided quite a lightning and thunder display in the south side of Chicago. It shook Felicia to her core. When I put this in motion, you'll be able to see where these storms are going. They're going off to the lake now and off to the east. But what happens is that we're not done with them just because it looks like the green and red is going to be out of the way. This is all part of what used to be the tropical storm Cristobal. So these are bands that continue to come across. So even as you see in the last few minutes, we've seen a little pocket filling up near Aurora and moving to the north towards Elgin. So these things are going to continue to pop up in this trajectory as you go along. So just because it looks clear behind, and you might even see some blue sky, I see some blue sky behind me, doesn't mean you're out of the woods yet. As we take a look downtown and what we're dealing with there, you can see a lot of wet pavement on Lakeshore Drive, but you can start to see the sun trying to peek through these overcast skies. Don't let it fool you. Sunny skies aren't going to be the name of the game today. It's going to be a mix of cloud and sun, more clouds and sun, and again, passing showers and storms throughout the day. Pretty much a 40% chance listing till about 7 or 8 o'clock tonight. So it could happen at any time. Good opportunity to check your little radar before you leave for a little walk. What happens is the mugginess leaves tomorrow, and we start to get a lot more comfortable. And look at the next 7 days after today. Really no rain threat. I mean, there's always a chance for some passing sprinkles, but we lose a lot of the humidity, at least for the next 4 or 5 days. And we look at those temperatures well below average. Average high right now, 78 degrees. We're there for a couple days, but then we're dropping well below it for the weekend. Very comfortable with dew points in the 40s, so just very cool and comfortable through the weekend. But then we ramp back up temperature-wise into the middle and end of next week.
I'm actually glad we had this rain because I keep forgetting to water the flowers I just planted.
There you go.
You do not have to worry about that right now.
No,
Yeah.
but I will next week. So remind me, will you guys?
Yes, and we missed out on a lot of the really heavy stuff. Iowa, Nebraska, northern parts of Wisconsin, and Minnesota. They're getting a couple inches of rain. We don't need that after how wet May was. But yeah, we're getting a little bit here.
It was
No, just
windy
a
by
little
me
shower.
last night too. Woo-wee.
Oh yeah, those trees were going. Yeah, 55-mile-an-hour winds. I told you so.
Weatherman John on point again.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks so much, John. Our first guest is a comedian, actor, TV host, and now bringing the last to Showtime with a new special called Stay at Home, Son, highlighting his childhood in Southern California. Let's welcome Jesus Trejo to the Jam TV show.
Hey.
Any moment now, Jesus is going
There
to
we
be joining.
go.
Here he comes, connecting to the audio.
Oh, he looks like he's in his back
Good
cave.
morning.
Hey,
Jesus,
good
how you
morning.
doing, man?
Oh,
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
doing good. Can you tilt your screen down a little bit? We want to see all of your bat cave.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Everything you got.
Not much of a bat cave. This is it. You know,
I know. This is
it's
where
like a
all
little
the magic-
birdhouse.
Is this where you write all your specials and your scripts, everything you need to know?
Yeah. Scripts, specials, tears, all of it. Yeah. Right here.
I hope there haven't been a lot of tears.
No, just just the right amount to get to motivate yourself and push forward.
Yeah.
So you have this new special, Stay at Home, Son. I want to hear you say it because everyone has their different accents, we're all from different parts of the country. How do you say it?
I say Stay at Home, Son. It's like I came up with the name of the title. Like I landed on the title back in summer of last year, right?
Oh, wow.
And I taped it November 2nd of last year. So I wish I would have put the comma right next to the sun. I mean, right before the sun, because that would have been a home run.
Yeah, right.
Because I'm like, don't New Yorkers say son?
Yeah, son. Yeah, no, I'm from Long Beach. I'm born and raised in Long Beach, but it was like, it's like saying, stay at home husband, stay at home. It's like, for me, it was like, stay at home son.
Yeah, I got you now because I was going to say you're like Nostradamus if you had gotten that right. And you
Right?
predicted we all be staying at home.
That would have been wild.
Just go with it.
And did you plan to release it now too, anyway, or was it getting it out because of the shelter in place? Were you able to get it out a little earlier?
No, actually, it got pushed back a little bit because it was supposed to come out right around I'd say like March.
Okay.
Is when it was supposed to come out. So it was like they were trying to find the proper time for it. But it ended up coming out when it was supposed to, and I was just happy it's out and people get to check it out. So
Is it a
everyone that's
little
seen it, thank you.
Is it a little heartbreaking though to watch it with an audience? Is it weird to knowing that we're not doing that right now? I mean, as a comedian, that's got to be kind of a strange juxtaposition.
It's interesting because it's like I'm so used to my creative process is I think of stuff during the day, I write it down, and at night I get to try it out. I record my sets on my phone, and the next day in the morning I wake up and I kind of listen to my sets that I did the night before, adjust, build. But last 3 months, that's not been the case. So it's very interesting. It's changed quite a bit, and things are opening up. So hopefully I get to go back out there again.
Do you find it hard, like during this time and everything that's been going on, to write comedy? Do you feel like you have to be more sensitive to the temperature of the nation right now?
Well, like to write comedy, it's like for a comedian to be able to create, like it's hard for a comedian to create in a vacuum. We need the audience. It's like it's an exchange of, I say something, you react to it. So it's right now it's kind of hard to create, but things are opening back up, and it'd be cool to go out, out there and have that dialogue with the audience.
Yeah.
But your comedy talks about traumatic things that have happened to you, to say the least. One of your specials talks about you being held up in a laundromat.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
with a gun?
Yeah, with the gun. But it's like, this is what's interesting in the angle that I like to take. So it's like, certain things, have happened to myself in my upbringing, but I try to find like the funny angle of it. It's like, if you look at it at face value, it's like, it's terrible. It's, it's the reason you end up in therapy and you kind of work through it. But if I'm able to present it in such a way, it's like, there's more than one way to look at something. And I try to find the angle that's the funniest. And at the end of it, exactly like you said, it's like some people are like, wait, did I just laugh at you getting held at gunpoint? It's like, yeah.
Well, so I'm sure you have some inspiration during this quarantine pandemic.
Yeah, I just, the workflow is different. I think one of the things I'm trying to do now, it's like I'm still trying to be out there and audition and that kind of thing. And, now we're doing a bunch of like self-tape where we like, self-tape, ourselves, and then we submit the audition. And I was trying to do that the other day, and I hear somebody like clap, and I hear, that's the one, and my neighbor, I guess, could hear me. I'm like, how thin are my walls? But, that's the kind of energy we need right now, supportive energy, and I'm all for it.
Well, I'm glad your neighbor is supportive. I got a story from the beginning of quarantine we won't get into, but I got to ask, so Amy's got 3 kids. Felicia and I are in those stages of trying to figure that life out. And I've always been like, well, if you have one, you got to have 2, but you're an only child, right? Can I stop at 1? Is everything going to be okay? I mean, you turned out good.
Well, my parents, what I like to think that they got it right the first time. So that's why they just had 1. But yeah, no, I'm have more than 1.
Yeah.
Really?
You need friends?
You need friends because it's like an only child is we spend a lot of time in here, and it's hard to make friends, but you're gonna end up with a real creative kid. I tell you that.
Yeah. See, I always say only child works if you have like a whole bunch of cousins, maybe a whole bunch of kids that you grew up with on the block. You just need kids around you. But if you don't have that, I don't know if it works out that well.
Yeah, and I come from a big family. Okay, so I'm an only child from my mom and dad, but my grandmother from my mom's side, she had 21 kids. So,
21?
Wait, 21? A
blackjack
game of kids?
Out the same person?
They didn't have Netflix back then. It was all chill. Like they loved each other.
Like that anymore.
No, it's amazing, and the truth of it is this, that again, there goes that thing where there's like the serious side and the funny side. So 21 beings came out of this woman, but not all of them are living. But
Right.
imagine 21 kids. I mean,
She was pregnant her whole life.
I mean, that
Literally.
it's like they could play a game of full court soccer in a ref, So
Oh my God.
it's
Any
it's-
twins?
yeah, 3 sets of twins.
That's crazy. That's got to
Yeah.
be in some record book.
I know.
Multiples?
For the long time, like for the longest time, I would do shows, and that was one of my earlier jokes that I would talk about, having 21 kids, and my grandmother had 21 kids. So, and through my time touring, I've met at least 3 or 4 times people are like, yeah, my grandmother had 21 kids. I've heard 22 before. So, it was common back then. Now
She knew that life wasn't a game of blackjack, right? You can stay on 17. Like, you don't have to try and get 21.
That's why she didn't have any more. She's like, you don't hit on 21, you won, So
You don't want to bust.
I feel like I'm a third over my quota at 3.
that's awesome. What are the ages?
Well, I have twins that are 3, and then I have my oldest is 10.
10. Okay.
All boys.
All boys. What about you, Felicia?
Me? Not yet.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have kids of my own either. I was just like, I'm gonna wait. I'm raising my parents, so I'm gonna wait.
I want kids.
You want kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm also someone that didn't grow up with 21 other people, and
Yeah.
so I have a rose-colored glass in front of me.
You mentioned raising your parents. Is everyone doing their quarantine thing okay, or are they breaking the rules? That's my problem.
They're breaking the rules, man. Next thing I know, my mom's outside, no face mask. I'm like, hey, let's bring it inside, please. Like face mask. Yeah, it's they're kids. The older they get, they turn into kids, and I'm trying to do my best, especially like during quarantine. It's like I'm trying to find things for my like parents to do. It's like they get bored, and I'm trying to find activities. Like my dad's favorite activity right now is taking apart appliances around the house to see how they work.
Has he learned anything?
That they never work ever, like they don't work properly ever again.
You got to show him YouTube. They got that stuff on YouTube, man.
I gotta sit him down in front of something, because man, he just takes them apart. Like I've never seen a toaster make that much noise. I'm like, noise? Is that a thing? And it's like, and then my mom, like she's adorable, but it's like I'm trying. I've been singing happy birthday to her while she washes her hands and all that good stuff. And we got a good crew here. It's like, as a matter of fact, the day the special came out, it was very sweet. Like I had done some press. I had to drive down to downtown LA, so I came back home, and it was just the most adorable thing ever. They laid out a nice tablecloth. Like the nice tablecloth came out. That's how I know it was like, oh, it's serious.
Yeah.
Mhm.
My dad brought flowers, and there was like pizza, and then there was a cake, and there were just and the cake in Spanish it read, congratulations on your accomplishments, and I thought that was very sweet. As hard as they are on me, it was just like, it's love at the end of the day. So
I think that's great. Well, and you talk about in your special too, your dad was really hard on you as a kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
So are you hard on them now as their children?
Revenge.
No, I'm very compassionate, but the good thing is I have a lot of patience, so I mean that helps me out tremendously. But yeah, they're just I'm there. I show up for my parents in ways that they showed up for me. Not that I could ever repay them for what they've done, but it's like I want to make sure that I show up and I'm there for them. The other day, my mom had her first doctor visit over Zoom. I thought that was interesting. We couldn't go, so it was a new doctor, so we couldn't go down there. So we set up the Zoom. My mom's here, I'm here. We're talking 45-minute consultation. At the end of it, I closed the laptop, and I looked at my mom. I said, "Mom, so what'd you think?" And she goes, "Who was that guy?" I'm like, "What?" It's like, who was that guy? He's like, we were talking to somebody for 45 minutes. He's like, he knew a lot about my health. I'm like, that's the doctor. She's like, oh, okay. I mean, it was the most adorable thing ever.
What do
Right.
your parents think about your success? Because like my mom wanted me to be a doctor or a lawyer. Those were her realms of success.
Oh my God.
And now I'm
Fail.
just
We have the same
outside of
parents.
that. I'm just outside. Do they understand what you do and the awesome success that you've had?
That's a great question. I think they're supportive, but they don't understand what it is that I do exactly. You know,
Okay.
and yeah, they wanted me to be a doctor, lawyer, architect, like engineer, even at some point. They're like, do that.
Yeah,
And
something respectable.
yeah, exactly. And
Right.
I don't know about you, but it's like there's been some checkpoints along the way, and I think our parents understand that. Like certain checkpoints is like the day you're able to, pay your rent from your art and your job. It's like there's a certain level of respect, but the bar of respect never gets full. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Well, they got to keep you going.
Oh yeah, no, they keep me going. So the day of the specials, we have the nice dinner. I said, "Hey dad, hey mom, let's sit down and watch the special. It's out today." And my pops goes, well, we went to the taping. I'm like, "Yeah, but it's on TV now." He's like, "Are they the same jokes?" I'm like, "Yes, I've only had 1 hour special." He's like, "But why would I see it again?" I'm like, "You don't have to. It's okay."
Wow.
Yeah, he does not let up. That's what I'm saying. So it's like I think, and that was after seeing a cake that says "Congratulations for your accomplishments" and flowers and balloons. So it's like, it's like that's one of the things I've learned. This is not something that I came up, but it's like but I read in a book. It's like you almost, in the pursuit of your career and your dreams, you have to allow yourself to be misunderstood, and it's like you can't blame somebody for not understanding what it is that you have this dream towards. It's like, it's my dream, it's in here, so it's like I can't expect them to understand it.
Plus, I think it shows that you're stepping out of the box. You're doing something different, paving your own way. There's going to be some misunderstanding as part of it. So
totally, and I think you get comfortable in your own skin. I think I've always been like a very shy introvert kind of thing, but with time, it's like, you fall into like this. Like, I'm comfortable in my own skin. This is who I am. And oh, dad, you're just silly. And before it would have been like, no, why'd you say that? So.
Well, it's been great catching up with you, Jesus. So we want to get the information on the screen for the special, of course. Should have added the comma, but that's okay. Stay at home, son. Jesus Trejo, thank you so much for joining us. And next time, just sit your dad in front of the TV with your special and have him fix a toaster while he does it as we look at your information for your
Right.
own.
That's right. Put a little Cheerios on the little tray there, and just put a high chair. Like, you sit here and watch my special.
Thanks, Jesus. Take care.
Thanks,
Take care.
Great stuff. What a good
yeah.
personality. Oh, that's awesome.
fun.
I
can't
know, but just being able to laugh at yourself, like
Yeah.
don't take yourself too seriously. It's all going to be okay.
That's
Hey,
what we needed, a comedian to start.
Well, let's keep in the comedy theme right now. Our next guest, Abby Sanchez, is one of Chicago's best comedians. He's a podcaster and, of course, friend of the Jam. And he's joining us now to talk a little bit about what he's been doing in quarantine. I think they're getting their 50th podcast. They hit coming up soon.
Wow.
That's a good number.
A lot to celebrate for sure.
Yeah, he used to work at a call center too. I love these journeys of people, especially in the arts, where they're trying to make it, but they've got to get some sort of finances down in the beginning. So I love those stories of whether it's waitressing, waitering, call center, whatever it is. I think we got them now. Hey, how's it going, Abby?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for joining us again.
Thanks for having me, man. I think I missed you last time when I was on TV.
Yeah, I'm sure I was out somewhere.
Vacations.
Yeah.
You started the corona because it came back.
Don't put that on me. Do not put that. I am not patient zero.
Well, what have you been doing, Abby, this whole quarantine?
Mostly just the podcast and kind of just biding my time until things reopen. So just really hoping. The funny thing is, you had Jesus Trejo on, and I was supposed to open for him on his stop in Chicago before Corona hit. So I was like, the next week it would have been me and him at the Improv.
Oh, wow.
Hey, he opened for you today. That's how that goes.
Yeah.
You showed him who's boss.
Put that on your resume.
No, I just bided my time, and then I finally got the headlining spot. So
Yeah. So I love your story of working in you're working on a call center. What made you go from that to say, I can't do this anymore, I got to try my passion?
It was the people. It was.
They'll do it.
it was the people calling me. I'm not a person that likes to talk on the phone much, and that job was 90% phone, so I just couldn't do it anymore.
Why'd you apply for a job? If you don't like talking on the phone, why are you going to a call center?
Well, at the time I needed a job. It was in the field I was in, and then I started actually working there, and I was like, yeah, I can't anymore. I gotta follow my passion, and that's what happened. So
It's so funny. Wait, so you don't like to talk on the phone, but in front of a large audience is totally fine.
yeah, because they don't get to talk to me.
Oh man,
Comedians are very specific.
Well, I was actually on that about talking to you. There's nothing that drives some comics crazier than, I don't want to say heckling, but someone that involves themselves too much in the show from the audience because they had too many drinks. Are you good at responding to hecklers, or does that throw you off?
My process is normally just to ignore it and keep going, and eventually they'll realize they don't have a microphone. But if it's something that like I have to address, then I'll address it.
Okay.
So, but normally and then I'm a bigger, so they usually don't talk back to me as much as normal people. So they kind of just like, let me talk, and then they sing afterwards. But
Yeah, it would be hard, I would think, to ignore them because a lot of comedy venues are pretty intimate, right?
yeah, and that's the thing is like we can clearly see who's talking to us sometimes, and it's like, all right, well, you really want to get picked on. And the first minute they get picked on, they either like go, tuck themselves back inside, or they actually come out harder, and then those are the ones you can have fun with.
But I think that is part of the reason why some people go to the comedy club. I mean, they know how they get when they get a little too many drinks in them, and they are looking to get that response. No?
Oh no, there's definitely people that think they're helping, and that's those are the worst kind of fans. Where it's like, you're not helping, or they like sometimes not all jokes are perfect, so they can see the punchline coming and they yell it out, and you're just like, you just stepped on that, and just create this hatred for audiences.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
I still love it. So it's great.
I just subscribed to Legal Alien, and I'm looking forward to on my next walk. I need some new podcasts. You're celebrating 50 episodes. I don't think people realize how much of a grind a podcast can be to keep up, especially when you're building it from scratch. That's got to be an interesting journey, and congrats on 50.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the hardest part is like wondering if people are interested in what you're talking about.
Right.
And then it's like sometimes I'm having a conversation with my co-host, Jose Gonzalez, and we're going back and forth, and I'm in my head like, man, do people even care about this? But then I listen to podcasts and I listen to the stuff they say, and I'm like, yeah, I care about it. Like it's really weird. I get in my head about it, but as long as you're talking and people are liking it, then it's good.
And you guys cover a wide gamut of topics too. It's not even just about comedy.
No, it's not comedy. We talk about like anything that's happening in the world right now, conspiracy theories that we think about, just random things that happen to us throughout the week. It's just like basically like two friends catching up that you get to eavesdrop on.
Oh, Felicia likes a good conspiracy theory.
I do. Somebody's always out trying to get me. I gotta call them out and let them know that I see you.
Yeah, they're fun as long as you don't dive too deep in, and then all of a sudden you're a flat earther. You don't want that.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Well, you gotta
gotta
be
quick and
careful
straight.
when and how you bring them out.
yeah,
That is
there's some
true.
that you can that are good.
Yeah, that is true. You start digging down certain holes, and before you know it, you look back, you're like, wait, where is reality? I have to get back and somehow get back up and find it.
Yeah.
And then you just start forgetting what you believe in. So it's really weird.
Yeah, for sure.
Question:
So
where
are
is
you
reality
able to
right
be-
now?
Are you able to be at
What was
home
that?
right now? And are you doing work in your apartment, or are you just kind of like, I need to take this moment to breathe and not get too uptight?
Well, I'm definitely not getting uptight about it. I mean, I'm hoping everything comes back around. As far as like jokes, been harder for me to write jokes because we've all experienced the same thing. And everyone on social media they're all comedians now because they have time to think and they can actually put up their own statuses. So it's like, man, they're just going to steal my job soon. So
Well, right. Doesn't it stress you out when you see everyone on TikTok and doing all this crazy stuff that somehow I get this a lot that I'm falling behind or something. And then there's that like anxiousness of like, I got to create, but that's like the worst environment to create.
yeah, especially like because everyone's like, you got to get on TikTok. I'm like, I don't know how to dance. I don't know how to do anything. It's like I stand on stage and I tell jokes. So it's TikTok and stuff like that has been a little difficult for me. But
Yeah, I'm with you.
I've definitely been like, what was that?
I said, I'm with you. I don't like, I'm not getting on TikTok. I just.
Yeah. And then also, like, everyone that's on TikTok, they can come to my show anyway, because there's usually a bunch of teenagers and stuff like that, so they're not over 21. So
Are you starting to book anything?
I was thinking about Facebook crowd.
Yeah.
Are you starting to book anything yet that things are starting to reopen? Is there any talk about getting half audiences in clubs?
I haven't heard anything about Chicago, but this weekend I'm doing the Comedy Bar in Dubuque, Iowa. So they're going to be doing some shows, and they'll be doing their social distancing seating. But I'm excited to get back out there. I actually kind of forgot some of my jokes, so I'm going to have to re-listen to some old stuff to see how they go.
Well,
I tried to do Zoom. What was that?
Go ahead.
I tried to do Zoom shows and stuff like that, and I'm like, stand-up comedy doesn't come across to me on Zoom. It's like there's no one. It's weird. You just people staring at you. They might chuckle. You don't get to hear the laugh. So I'm excited to get back in front of actual people.
I think that they got to open up some of these beer gardens at the comedy clubs. I know IO's got a big space outside. Let's spread people out. I know that's not the best for laughter, but if it starts raining, battle through it. You can handle it.
Battle through it.
Yeah, that rain would be the worst heckling you can get. Like, I'm pretty sure that would just kill this show. But I'm all for outdoor shows. Outdoor shows can be fun. They're cool. They're sitting outside. They like it and they want to laugh. So it's good.
Yeah, I just had flashes of my hair. Although outdoor shows could be BYOB. That's a positive.
Actually, kind of breaking up. I can't hear you.
Yeah. I was saying that outdoor shows could be BYOB.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And then, but see, that's what you want to avoid too, because then people start pouring their own drinks, and then they start getting a little hectic.
Yeah. Hey, you've been.
I think that's one of the biggest drawbacks of going back to bars is like you're gonna realize that they're not double pouring their drinks like you at home. So it's like.
Hey, we wanted to show.
Very upset.
I was going to say we wanted to show off a couple of your. You've been active at least on. Twitter's a great place for a good, solid joke in 280 characters, which is easier said than done. Let's pull up a few of your tweets that you've been having. Chewing on the other side. I guess I could let you read it, but yeah, I like that.
Chewing on the other side of Memphis is my current dental plan. Yeah. When the right side starts to hurt, I'm going to go left side for about a week.
Until it happens to you.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap things up here. Sorry, we're just having a little delay back and forth on the Zoom, but you're a funny man. Let's get your information up so people can follow you and see more of those tweets and plenty more. The Legal Aliens podcast is available on all the podcast apps, wherever you want to find it. You know how that goes. And then, of course, you can follow him at that Abby Sanchez on Facebook and Abby Sanchez Comedy on Instagram. And there's his website, too. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Abby.
Thanks, Abby. Appreciate it. Be there, guys.
Yeah, he's a really funny guy. Sweet guy, too.
Yeah, really cool.
Let's move along here. Obviously the last few days and weeks, really, we've been focusing on ways that we can support the Black community, kind of put our dollars to all the words that we've been saying. And our next guest is making that a little bit easier for people. Jeremy Joyce is joining us. He's the man behind Black People Eats, a website dedicated to highlighting Black-owned restaurants and beverage companies around the U.S. Jonathan Swain gave him a shout out the other day, too, about the great stuff that they're doing. Hey, Jeremy, you're a little bit sideways. Oh, there we go. How you doing, boss?
Hey, how you doing? Hey, everybody.
Hey, where are you going?
Actually, it's funny. The power in my neighborhood went out. That's the reason I'm in my car. Yeah.
Oh,
no.
Look, I'm like, he's about to go eat. Duh, Amy.
I mean, this is the same place that I be when I'm normally eating some food.
Oh man, well, thank you so much for being a trooper and heading out to your car.
My pleasure. I was like, no, I can't let it happen. I text Rudy and I was like, hey, power's been out for like 2 hours, so if I'm in my car, just don't laugh at me.
Yeah. Fingers crossed that gets back on really soon. I imagine you've been pretty busy.
Yes, it's been a lot, honestly. Yeah, I have been pretty busy, honestly. It's been a lot, but it's like a great overwhelming support.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have managed to put together restaurants all over the U.S. Obviously, you're based in Chicago, but the restaurant list is from all over the U.S. Have you been to these places, or are these just you're just kind of curating a list of restaurants?
Oh, so yes, I actually have been to a lot of cities. So like, let's say all three of you guys are getting ready to go to Atlanta, Houston, St. Louis, Dallas. I can pretty much give you a list off the top of my head because those are the cities I have been to. I'm hyper focused in Chicago, but I'm pretty much know Atlanta and Houston pretty well. Dallas, pretty good. St. Louis, Memphis, New Orleans, and I had some more trips planned. Yeah, I had some more trips planned, but they canceled, with the COVID-19.
Yeah, seriously.
So have you been getting a lot of traction from people that were like, I need to try and find ways to support the Black community, and then you have that list? I mean, what has the response been from restaurants and from people that were looking for it?
For both ends. So honestly, from the restaurants end, it's been a lot of restaurants. Sometimes some restaurants, they're a little unsure. I had to struggle with some restaurants telling me no in the beginning. Now you have a lot of restaurants now that wants that, hey, how can we get featured? So more restaurants are starting to become more aware. And then on the community side, you have people sending us emails, messages saying like, hey, I'm looking for a great brunch spot. Where should we go this weekend? Hey, we want to get some seafood. Where should we go this weekend? Hey, I'm going to Dallas next week. Can you send me a list? So it's always been like that, but now it's like way more and more. So we're eventually going to work on packages for cities. So like if any of you guys are getting ready to travel, you will know, okay, Atlanta, this is where you go. If you Houston, go to Turkey Leg Cut. You're Atlanta, go to Slutty Vegan. Chicago, go here. So we are working on something where it'll be a little more user friendly for everybody to know where to go when they go to other cities.
You just said that some businesses were a little hesitant in the beginning, and now they're kind of jumping on the bandwagon of Black People Eats. Why is that? Or why do you think?
Well, me personally, just like this, somebody always starting off, you're always a little hesitant, It's just like if somebody's coming into the TV game, they're coming to you and they're just getting started up. You have to, one, build trust. You have to, two, build a relationship. And I had to realize that. So I didn't get discouraged when restaurants would tell me no. I just realized I understood that until they see value, I'm not going to be as valuable. So I just really just had to continue to focus on my craft and continue to show people that I'm offering something great to the community. Then eventually there will be others who will grace me with the opportunity to come, because essentially I like to talk to the owners before I go to any restaurant. I like to get a sense of the feel of who they are as a person, because that typically will infuse into the staff and how other people would experience. So if I have to talk to the restaurant owner and if I know that they're kind of a little hesitant, like I believe my 8th month in, I was about 3,000 followers. That was an owner who told me he had about 9,000, 8,000 more followers than me. So he didn't want me to come yet.
Oh, what?
Yeah, that was a pivotal experience for me starting off, because I was like, man, I didn't know people was really like that. So business actually has taught me a lot about people.
Have you ever thought about, because especially in this time now where so many people are asking what they can do to help Black communities out, and obviously supporting Black-owned business is a great avenue. Have you ever thought about expanding outside of food too?
Yeah, so a lot of people who know me personally know there's more to me than just food. God just allowed me to start with food because food brings people to the table. Food brings cultures together. Food brings communities together. So through food, God is just using me to bring all different types of people to the table, which will enable me to do way more than just food. Like right now, like for example, on our YouTube channel, I teach restaurants how to market their business on social media, because I would get so many calls about, hey, I have a lip gloss line and I want to teach people how to promote it. And obviously I can use the strategy that I had with Black People Eats, and I realized there's more people who need access to this, not just restaurants. So that's why I started the YouTube channel to offer that service to others. And honestly, I definitely believe eventually in years to come, there will be more things that I want to do as far as giving kids scholarships to go to college, helping mentor young men, because that's something I'm very big on, because I was able to go to college for free. So I do believe it's important to give back. I was actually working on a festival before COVID-19 happened, and the proceeds was going to go to a culinary student at a college. So yeah, there's way more than just food. Is just the beginning for me, honestly.
Where was that festival going to be?
It was going to be in the fall, and
No,
I was
where?
Where? Oh,
Mhm.
so it was gonna be at a hall. It was gonna be in a big building, and essentially it was going to be all Black restaurants in one building from all over the world, ideally.
No, but what
So,
city?
what city? It was gonna be here, of course, Chicago.
Okay, okay.
Lisa, you got a lot of questions about an event that isn't happening in the fall. Why don't you let
Don't worry,
him set it up again?
Well, I'm keeping my eyes set out for next year. Okay, I can see it on the horizon. I know because he mentioned Atlanta, and I know he travels a lot. So I was like, well, maybe it could it'll be in a different state, or it'll be a little later, or something like that.
Oh no, it was gonna be here. Ideally, it was gonna be some of the best restaurants in Chicago. Then, based on donations and all those other things, I was gonna get 2 to 4 restaurants in other cities that I know people would like to try, but they won't go out there to try, and bring them here. Ideally, that's what I envisioned. We're still the concept. I can't speak on it too much, but the concept of what we're doing will still happen. It's just the restaurant event won't happen, but the other portion will happen. It's getting ready to be launched very, very soon.
Nice.
Jeremy, you've been a great resource for our show, Chicago Food to Go. I've tossed to you a few times over a recorded thing, and you've taken it away, showing off some great spots. Participating in anything really to get the word out about restaurants, and specifically Black-owned restaurants, seems to be, I mean, it's a real passion of yours. It's not just something for you to make a name for yourself. This is something you believe in.
Yeah, like honestly, like I love the way you explained it too. Thank you. You're like euphoria. You had me laughing. But yes, so just a little bit of who I am as a person. My story is I love food. A lot of people don't know this, but I worked at a restaurant called Culver's for 6 years, from 16 to 22. So I understood the importance of food, and I always loved food. Like I would call my best friend and be like, hey, I just left this restaurant. They got a deep fried lobster tail. So good. And it was just who I was as a person. So I believe that no matter what anybody does, and anybody who's listening, when you lead from your story, when you lead from your passion, from your purpose, there's an energy that comes with you that can't be imitated or duplicated or copied. It's just something that naturally shines on you. And that's how you win. Because a lot of people always ask, well, how did you get 12,000 followers in the first year? And I tell them the goal is not to focus on the followers, but focus on the purpose and the intent of giving to the community. And that's how you win with people, and that's how you win in business.
Well, all of your love of food, do you cook yourself at all too, or do you just eat out all the time?
Yes, actually, I should invite all three of you guys over. So my mom makes about 90% of the food we eat from scratch.
Wow.
About 90%. So I learned how to cook at a young age just watching her. And then now I'm in home more. So I do know how to cook. Like I watch her a lot too, like a lot. Like we make our own pizza dough crust out of cauliflower. You roll the dough, you sprinkle the little flour on it, put it in the pan, put it in the oven, let that sit, bring it out, top it, put it back in the oven, let it sit cool for 5 minutes. Yeah, my mom, all hail to my mom. She's an amazing, amazing chef, like an amazing woman, amazing woman.
Awesome.
Oh, I love how you talk about her.
Yeah.
What's your guys' favorite thing to cook?
My favorite thing for her to make in the house. So for my birthday, I had a dinner party. She makes these smoked chicken thighs with like some type of sweet Thai chili sauce.
Ooh.
It's very, very wonderful. And then she does a brown sugar glazed salmon.
Oh.
Those are my two. Yeah. Oh, those are.
That sounds
And then
amazing.
it's good. It's amazing. And then now, and this recipe I'm actually learning. So recently it has been a shrimp scampi. What she does is with the shrimp shells, if you guys cook with the shrimp shells, She leaves them and she cooks them for a few minutes, and it creates a shrimp stock. You take the shrimp stock and you mix that with the scampi. So, oh my God, that is another level. So that's probably my favorite thing she's cooking right now.
Oh, making me hungry right now.
That sounds so
What
good.
do we have for lunch
You
today?
guys got to open up a restaurant. I mean,
know.
forget commenting on restaurants. Get some money that way.
It will happen. Honestly,
Okay.
That's one of my goals. That's one of my goals. I want to open up a restaurant with all of my mother's recipes. I'm trying to get her to do where we can go cooking sometimes live from the channel, just a way to bridge families together, because you rarely see a mother and a son cooking. So I would like for her to get it, but just in the case that she doesn't, I'm eventually going to take all her recipes, probably do it a cookbook, and maybe do a restaurant. But ideally, I want to open up a restaurant like in years to come.
Well, you better start writing it down. And I don't say years and years and years. I think it could happen sooner than you think.
If it does, you guys are coming.
Yes.
You guys are definitely
Coming. We'll be
I'll make sure
working
you guys
there.
have some food.
Yeah. Well, tell you what, Jeremy, we're want to get your information out there for Black People Eats, but I got to also mention, well, first we'll do this. We'll get the information up for what you guys do on Instagram and Twitter and the YouTube page as well, blackpeopleeats.com. And I got to say that you're not on this week's episode, but you're going to be on next week's episode, and we'll have another special announcement about that in the next few days. Well featured on Chicago Food to Go. Jeremy, thanks so much for stopping on by here. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. I thank you guys, and I appreciate all of you guys for this wonderful opportunity. I'm very grateful, and I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you.
Are you going to get back in the house? It's gotten a lot sunnier outside. They got to get that power on. Who do we got to call at ComEd?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out myself. I'm actually enjoying it. It's good to get that sun. Honestly, I'm actually enjoying it. Oh, and the applications for the Restaurant Relief Fund has just launched. We raised over $65,000, so the applications are live today. No strings attached. Restaurants submit the applications. We review them. We're going to select winners and announce them on Juneteenth.
Oh, awesome.
Oh.
Yeah, you guys get the first tea on that. They're open today. It's for any Black restaurant in any city.
Any city. Okay, great. That's wonderful. Doing good things, man. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. I appreciate it.
That's great. And speaking of Chicago Food to Go, let's get the information up for that. And people like Jeremy have done a great job submitting videos and giving us guidance on where we should check out, places that are still doing delivery or pickup. The show airs this weekend on Saturday, and then the show we're aiming you to is Sunday at 4 p.m. And that is every single weekend as we get more and more restaurants submitting their great videos. And you can too.
Yes, I love seeing that. Although I do wish we could have talked more about tacos.
Oh, taco.
I know. I think they hold a special place in all of our hearts.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's do the weather forecast, because I've had to turn on my lights up here in front because it has gotten bright outside, bright sunshine and across a lot of the area, but showers and storms moving out over the lakefront right now. So right now we're good. And what a great shot right now. Boy,
Hey, look,
looks a
it's
lot different.
drying.
What's that?
The pavement's even drying.
Yeah, the pavement's drying, the sun's doing its thing, and the Chicago flag and the pride flag blowing there. And you can see that southerly breeze still in effect right now, but way less than it was last night. We're not done with the rain yet. I mean, you might be, but we're going to still see on and off showers here for the next few hours or so. It is muggy, too, out there. We've got dew points in the 70s still, so it is a hair frizzy day if you step outside.
I don't think my hair could get any bigger.
Well, go outside for a few minutes. We can do a video of how long it takes Amy to get frizzy. And then but the nice thing is that tomorrow we're going to be in a similar situation temperature-wise, but we lose the rain overnight, and we're going to be really comfortable. The dew points are going to plummet from Thursday to Saturday, and so are the temperatures. Friday is going to be a little bit cooler, but then Saturday struggling to get out of the 60s. That's a little too cool for my blood. I'd prefer to get to 70, but that's not so bad. We'll take that, and then we warm up quickly into next week. But those dew points from about tomorrow through Monday look very comfortable. That is certainly some good news.
We're going to do a backyard camping trip this weekend.
Hey.
And the ground will have a few days to dry out. So actually that makes a lot of sense. That's pretty
set
good.
up the
Tent
tent.
out, and would you spend the whole night out there then?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, we used to go camping every year. I mean, on tent camping, and Little guys have been a little too little, so this will be their first tent experience, but it'll be fun.
I just didn't know if maybe you like after like Todd and the boys fell asleep, you like snuck back inside and you're like, actually, I want this comfortable bed.
That would be me.
And then you just show up in the morning with bacon. You're like, see what I just did? It just happened. I slept right next to you the whole night. That's really cute.
But now that you've suggested that, maybe I will.
Yeah, I'm shocked you have it. Really, really cute. Okay, guys, let's keep it moving. Our next guest is here. And of course, I'm super excited because this is Yania Galladay, and she is from Morgan Park High School. But she's not just any student, you guys. She's the valedictorian.
Yes.
She's the valedictorian. Yes. Standing ovation. So we want to celebrate her and shower her with some love, given the situation, everything that's going on. Hey, Ladybug, how's it going?
Hello, good.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, and now you're on your way to Howard University.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Yes. So I went to Morgan Park High School as well a few years ago, and ended up going to HBCU. I went to North Carolina A&T too. So I'm excited that you are choosing to attend the HBCU as well.
I gotta ask, so normally at some schools, the valedictorian gives a speech or something at graduation. Is that how it was gonna go at Morgan Park? Do you ever get to address your fellow seniors?
Yeah, so they asked me to write a speech, but with the circumstances that we have going on right now, it's gonna be virtually. So I have to record a video of the speech and send it in, and it'll be played during our virtual graduation. But we're also having a drive-through where we get to walk up and grab our diploma still.
That's so
great.
cool. Are you excited or are you nervous?
A little bit of both. I like speaking, but it's an important occasion, so I'm trying not to be nervous, but I am.
Just use some editing skills. If you don't like it, just cut and paste. You'll figure it out. You'll get a good speech together.
Is it written yet?
Yes.
It is.
Oh,
You want to give us a little preview?
Yeah, what's the theme? Give us some.
So with everything going on right now with the African American community and police brutality, I brought that up in my speech. I decided to mention it by me being a Black woman going to the real world, and a lot of my peers are African American, so I felt like that was important to bring up. But I also want them to know that everything they've done is important, and everything they've done should be acknowledged, and that we can do more than what people think we can do.
It's awesome.
That is awesome.
Oh, I'm sure your mom is so happy. Is she gonna miss you going to DC?
Yeah, she's gonna cry.
What's the update from Howard?
So right now they're telling us that mid-June they'll let us know where, what time we're coming or when we're coming. They've been meeting. They have a board that's been meeting about all the circumstances, things that might happen, take place. So yeah.
Are you excited to go? Are you kind of ready? Are you packed? Do you got all your stuff laid out?
I'm very excited to go. I'm ready. I feel like this is something new for me, new things, new opportunities, and then a chance for me to be by myself because parents, they're a little smothering, but yeah,
it's worked out well for them. You're doing pretty good.
Thank you.
So pre-med, have you always been interested in biology and science?
Science has really always been something that was important to me that I like. Even when I was little, I loved science. It may not have been medicine, but science in general has always been important. But as I got older, I realized that I wanted to be a doctor. And then after a while, taking care of people in my family that were sick and things like that made me like it even more. So,
do you have a specialty you want to go, or do you want to be like a family doctor?
I'm thinking trauma surgery because it seems like something that's fun. I want to be hands-on. I actually want to be able to do the work instead of just consults and stuff.
Yeah, it sounds like you do well under pressure then.
Yeah.
I try.
I like how you said trauma surgery sounds fun.
I'm sure they feel the same way as well. You're also shouting out your church, St. Benedict, the African church as well. You were in the choir. You've done so much.
Yeah. So I grew up there, going there with my granny because that was her church. And she really was the person that got me involved. She made me start singing. She encouraged me to sing because I loved it. I did it around the house. And then she was like, why don't you just join the choir? And I'm like, I don't know. She's like, join the choir. So I loved it. I did it for 2 years. And I also cleaned the church during that time after masses for 2 years. But cheerleading eventually got in the way, so I had to stop, but I still go when I can.
Yeah, that's a humble experience, cleaning the church.
Thanks.
Did you now? Was it hard to go to Morgan Park? Do they speak Felicia Lawrence's name through the hallways every day? Is that like
They're like Felicia who?
It's not. It's actually not that bad. It's a good school. It's just about the program and what activities you join, things like that.
Yeah, I heard. So I know like Mr. Fitz is still there. Did you have him?
Yes, I have sophomore year.
Oh, nice. Yeah. And Mr. Marchand for Spanish. Did you take Spanish or French?
Yes, that's one of my favorite teachers. Mr. Marchand is one of my favorites.
Oh, really cool.
You danced in high school too, correct?
Yes.
Were you like on? Was it cheerleading? Was it like the Poms, or was it like a dance dance?
So for all 4 years, I've been cheering. Sophomore year, I was co-captain, and junior and senior year, I served as captain. But I decided that I missed dancing because I danced before high school, but I had to stop because of cheer. So I actually started dancing with the Majestics dance team at our school, like a majorette team. I started practicing with them, but we had competition season for cheer. So I couldn't actually be there as much as I would have liked to. But after practices, I always tried to go to the other.
And then for a prom, I see all your senior pictures here. I was wondering if you had a dress that did or did not get used.
Yeah, so that's why my hair is this color right now. I plan on doing a prom send-off on Friday. You know, it's a quarantine prom send-off, so even though I'm not really going anywhere, I still want to take pictures of my dress and let the family be able to see it because I put a lot of effort in when it came to
Yes.
Is it going to be the same color as your hair, or did you just try to match it? Okay,
it's
got
like
it.
the same color.
Okay, a little sneak preview.
going to college is so exciting, but there's like a little bittersweetness to it too. Are you planning on doing stuff with your friends to kind of live up as much as you can during this time? Your last summer kind of, although you'll come back in summers, but it's like your time with your high school friends.
Yeah, I definitely want to. I'm hoping, the restrictions have been lifted a little bit so we can kind of go eat at certain places outside and stuff like that. But I'm hoping that a little bit more gets opened up before I leave because that's the most exciting thing for me is being with them before we all break apart. Even though we'll be back eventually, everybody's going to go their separate ways. And I kind of just want to get a goodbye in with them before we leave.
Are you in school with any of your friends? Anybody else going to Howard with you?
Sadly, no.
Oh,
Really? Usually so many Morgan Park people end up going to that school.
This year, I think most of the kids went to NIU. Yeah, NIU.
Yeah, when I graduated, it was Urbana-Champaign, John. A lot of kids are going to Urbana-Champaign and Mizzou.
Yeah, a lot of people in the DP program are going to UIUC.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I saw that you're in the IB program. I know that was tough. That's rigorous.
Yeah, I don't being completely honest. I cried a few times. I broke down a few times because it's really hard. People tell you it's hard before you go in, but as a student that's been doing well pretty much my whole life, I felt like I could do it. And going in, it started off easy. So the first semester of IB, which is your junior year, first semester, is actually easy. But then once you hit second semester, you have all of these projects, these things we call IAs, internal assessments. They're all at least 1,000 words a piece. You have a 3,500 word extended essay about a topic of your choice, like an arts or a history. You have 2 oral things, one for Spanish and one is for English. And then you have multiple other projects to do in between, and then still focusing on applying for schools, financial aid, and all that too.
A lot of the people that I know that did IB, they went on and said that college was way easier than IB. So I am crossing my fingers, hoping it's true for you too, girl.
IB is so hard, I can't even say the word that IB stands for. Baccalaureate, I don't even know.
Baccalaureate.
Baccalaureate, okay, there you go.
John.
You were an Illinois State Scholar and among the top 10 students in the entire state. And if you say it's hard, it's got to be hard.
Yeah, it's really hard, but it's good. Like it was worth it. And then it's a sense of family that comes with the IB program because most of us are in class together. So really the whole day you're switching classes, but it's literally the same exact people in every class. So eventually you kind of start banding together. We study together, like my math teacher, Mrs. Harden, she got us to the point where our class would go to the library during our lunch periods and we just work together on tests and things like that to prepare.
Yeah. When you end up becoming a trauma doctor, do you hope to come back to Chicago and do that, or do you want to go wherever the wind takes you?
I'm actually not sure right now. I've been thinking about a little bit of both because the school I want to go to, I'm thinking about Mayo Clinic or Johns Hopkins, but at the same time, Chicago is also a nice place to be too. I could live downtown, work at Rush or something like that. And I think it would be just as great.
You do what you want to do, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you back, of course.
So we've been talking about on this show just how people are so, young people today are just so astute and privy to what's going on and have some really awesome solutions. I just want to know, do you talk to what's going on in the world with your friends? It's in terms of coronavirus or in terms of the protests?
Yeah, we actually talk about it all the time. The way me and my friends are, because we're all pretty much the same, we love to debate and talk about stuff. And lately, the main thing coming up is, obviously the riots and stuff, because that's the most recent thing. COVID has been like really hard on us. It's really upsetting because we worked hard to get to where we are and we really don't get to celebrate it like everybody else would. But a lot of people kind of don't understand that. But the thing that's really been striking to us right now is the riots and the Black Lives Matter movement. And we just feel like there should be rules that go against the stuff that's going on. Like there should be some type of way that these things can either be prevented or caught. It's no way that there should be multiple officers surrounding a murder by another officer and no one does anything because they have the power in the situation. A citizen won't do anything because of their fear that something will happen to them. Someone has to stand up in the force to help them to stop that.
Yeah, policing themselves, right? Yeah, we all have to do something. Have you participated in any of the marches?
No, but I did sign a petition because my parents, they don't really want me to they want me to be safe. They want me to use my voice and they want me to do stuff to help with the protests and the marches, but they don't necessarily want me out there on the front line during it. So I've been signing petitions. I've been telling other people to sign petitions and make sure that they know what they can do from home.
Yeah,
that's great. Because I agree with your mom.
Yeah. There's so many different ways that you can help and still be a part of the solution.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Well, you are on to bigger and better things. We really appreciate you stopping by. Good luck and keep in touch, okay?
Thank you. I will.
Take care. And good luck with the speech and everything like that. Oh, she's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. We have so much talent in Chicago.
I know, it's insane. You know what? A lot of the CPS kids are going to be graduating soon. And so we're going to actually take some time to celebrate them a little bit more here on CW26 and on the U. We're going to be having a special graduate together, celebrate together. That is really a look at some really amazing students, some of the accomplishments that they've accomplished over the year. We've got shout outs from celebrities and athletes and parents, and then honoring some teachers. So it's going to be amazing special that you'll be able to see here on CW26 and on the U. Again, that's graduate together, celebrate together. And I think we have a graphic or no for the show.
I'm going to draw one really quickly. I still got my pad from Pictionary. Hold on.
Sure. It's Sunday at 12:30 on the U and at 4:30 on CW26. So make sure you check it out. It's going to be really great.
Cool.
All right. So let's go move on to our next guest. We know we've all been talking about health lately. Many people trying to be healthier while we're stuck in quarantine. Maybe, I don't know, shed a few pounds. That's what I've been trying to do.
Girl.
Nearly 150 pounds, winning the title of Biggest Loser in the 18th season of the show. Jim DiBattista joining us this morning. Hi, Jim.
Hey guys, how you doing? How's it going?
Hey.
Great.
Hi.
You look great still. So obviously you're keeping up your routine.
Oh yeah, I mean, since the show aired, I lost 144 pounds on the show, documented, and then since it ended, I've lost probably about another 20 some pounds. I'm down to 166 pounds total loss. So,
Oh,
yeah.
Was that hard coming home and then trying to do it on your own? Did you ever have like a little rebound, or were you right when you got back, you kept it up?
It was a mindset game for me. So the whole point of what I did strategy wise was to make sure whatever I was doing on campus, I could take and replicate at home. And it was my mission when I got home, I was going to replicate it. And I have, and it's so far, knock on wood, God bless, it's been working. So, yeah, so no, it's been hard. Don't get me wrong. I've had moments of very difficult, it's hard to wake up and want to work out every day sometimes, I'm human like everybody else. There's lazy moments, but I wake up every day. The sun rose today. It's my opportunity to be great. I'm going to try to do my best to take that opportunity, and that's my new mindset. That's my mindset from the start. And that's what I'm doing.
quarantine has been hard on a lot of people too. Have you found that you've actually been able to do more in quarantine because you had a little bit more free time, so you're working out a little harder, or was it harder for you to get motivated to keep doing that?
No, listen, quarantine for me, I'm essential. I actually work for a company that, I'm out actually in the field working every day still. And so time wasn't on my side. I had, and going to a gym, I'm a social animal. I love to talk. You'll figure that out in the next, 10 minutes of this interview, that I love talking. So, me in a basement by myself has been difficult, but I'm lucky. I also have never missed a paycheck. I haven't had to worry about a meal, and listen, there's how many million Americans that have not had that luxury. I'm blessed that way. So it would be wrong of me to not take advantage of that and do my best. And I have no excuse, and I refuse to let anything be a crutch for me. And this is, when again, I've taken that mindset during the coronavirus. I was lucky to have weights in my basement. I have an amazing gym that I go to that, they do Zoom workouts that I was able to take advantage of and at least get a couple of them in a week. And, nothing beats a good run, which, again, Corona didn't keep us from being able to walk outside. So,
yeah. I love that you are somewhat trying to honor other people by making the most of your day, by making the most of your life. I think that's really, really cool mindset to have there. I'm interested in what your mindset was before you lost all this weight and how it changed after losing all this weight.
That's a great question, Felicia. Thank you. That question is literally my mission in life. I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't even realize what I was doing to myself when I was 400 pounds or close to 400 pounds. So my mindset before was, and it's really simple, I was trying to be perfect. And how many people have started a diet and said, I need to do this perfectly.
Right.
And then what would happen is I would go out to breakfast with my friends or family or boss or whatever, and I would eat a Belgian waffle. And that would kill my perfection. So I would go, the rest of the day's ruined now. I might as well just, eat whatever. I might as well go get a Dairy Queen ice cream and forget it. I'll start Monday. And for 20 years, I said, I'll get to it Monday. I'll get to it Monday. And that was my mindset, is like, we'll get to it. And then I woke up 400 pounds. That mindset is dead and gone forever in me. There's no time to waste. The sun's going to rise tomorrow. Today's a bad day. Okay. The sun will rise tomorrow. Again, I have an opportunity to go out and be great. And I'm doing everything I can to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I think you got to forgive yourself a little bit for those little slips. Like, we're all going to have those. And that's been one of my struggles too, is I kind of lost a lot and then I yo-yo just a little bit. It's like you're getting real down on yourself, and it's like you got to change that mindset.
That is exactly giving yourself grace. When people ask me for advice, that's like the number one thing I ask them. Forgive yourself. Give yourself grace for what you've done. Because that strive for perfection is dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. It's okay. You made a mistake. Make 10 good decisions after that. That's all. And good decisions, one at a time, add up to big results. And that's my mission in life, is to teach kids that, teach middle-aged America that. That's what I want to do now with my newfound, release of weight. My newfound health.
What I always struggle with, and so maybe you can give me a little guidance, is like I'll do really, really good and be clean, and but then I'll have like a weekend, or I'll go out of town and I'll fall off the wagon, and it takes me like another 2 weeks to get back on a good path. Like, how do you flip the switch back and forth?
It's so I think one is recognizing it. The first step of that is like, you went off the wagon a little bit. That's okay. But your body physiology has changed in those couple days too. When you eat a bunch of carbs, when you eat a bunch of sugar, when you've gone off the wagon, your body now craves that because the insulin level in your blood is literally higher. So you have to know that, recognize that you are going to crave things more. So how do you get rid of those cravings? Well, you have to eat good carbs. You have to get some good carbs in your body, some slower processing, and you got to drink more water than you normally would drink to kind of flush your system and get that going. Plus, you have to mentally prepare yourself. Like, all right, I went off the wagon. I know Monday I'm going to wake up and I'm going to want to eat bad. Know that, recognize it, and try to battle it. And that's something Bob actually told me. Bob Harper from the show was like, he plays games with his mind. Like, he sees something that he loves, and he literally is like, nope, not going to eat you. And he plays like a little tug war game. I do that constantly now. Like, if I see, like, my kids still eat. My kids are going to go to a fair and not get a funnel cake. I mean, come on, So I look at that funnel cake and I'm like, oh no, you ain't getting me, kid. No way, ain't going down. I'm not doing it. So you have to know it.
So, but it seemed like that's a little difficult too, because do you feel like you're depriving yourself? Because I like to go, someone else on this show said that they try not to look at it as bad food, that this is something I shouldn't eat. It should just more so be looked at like, sometimes I do this and sometimes I do that. What do you think about that?
I agree 100% with that. There's no such thing as bad food. I mean, food's food, right? Mm-hmm. The reality is, can you eat bad food? Can you eat things that are not as nutritious as others all the time? No. I mean, that's kind of what it comes down to is moderation, portioning. They call it treats for a reason. It's not everyday meal. It's a treat. So I try to treat it like that. So what's happened with me is, like, now when I have had dessert, which I have, I've gone out to dinner and my wife and I have split a dessert. When you have those moments, they're so much better, and I enjoy them more now. And it's like they just taste better. I don't know. And so I actually play the game. So when I do have that treat, it's awesome. Like my birthday, I had an ice cream cake, which is my favorite. I mean, that's the end all be all to me. And it was the most delicious ice cream cake I've ever had in my life. I'm not gonna lie, I loved it. So, and that was it. I had the ice cream cake. Next day I woke up and I got right back in the game,
As we get another season of casting doing virtually, do you have any advice for people that want to get cast on the show?
Yeah, I do. I have a ton of advice, actually. The number one thing you could do is be yourself, be open. You can fall into a trap of trying to give them what they want, or outthinking yourself of, oh, they want this kind of person or that kind of person. Listen, when I got on the show, my first audition tapes, all the videos I sent them, I basically, maybe I'm lucky that I was confident enough in myself that I said, I'm going to give them me. This is who I am. Take it or leave it. If you don't take me, I'm good. I'm going to do something else to get healthy, because I had it. I had been done. So that's my first piece of advice, is just be open, honest, and be yourself. It's not a job interview. You're trying to go on TV. You're trying to lose weight. You're not trying to get a job. It's very different. And then two, you can be your enlightened self, your heightened self, I should say. Give them the best you, don't be shy. If you're trying to get on TV, I mean, you do have to give them personality. You have to show them who you are. So it's difficult. What I would like to say to anybody trying to get on the show is, if you took a big step to try, take that second step to go get healthy, because that's a dangerous slippery slope too. Waiting for somebody to come help you, like the show. The show will help you. And I love the show, and it's the greatest thing that ever happened to me. And I feel indebted to the show. But if you can't get on the show, please go do something. I pray. I beg you to.
Yeah, I love that.
Did you kind of change your eating habits for your whole family now? Is your wife getting healthier? Your kids getting healthier too?
See, now that's a slippery slope.
It's so hard. We talk about it all the time. It's hard when your partner is on a different page. You're eating a salad, and they have fried chicken and nachos over there.
Oh, don't get me started. Friday night pizza. Now, I occasionally have it. Sometimes I don't. When they have it and I don't, I'm like, oh, you guys are killing me. But listen, I'm not going to be the guy sitting there being like, coming home and now all of a sudden 20 years of eating the way I ate. Now all of a sudden I'm like, do it my way or go, I'm not going to thump them into it. I have gently put some knowledge into all of my children and my wife. Like, we maybe make tacos now with ground chicken. That's, 2%, 3% fat, maybe that happens. Maybe, we don't do burgers anymore. We ground turkey burgers, or, maybe we don't eat as much cheese as we used to, so I'm trying to influence it without just coming in and being like, this is how it's going,
Yeah, that has been something I think I've learned just with marriage. Like, that person is going to be whoever they're going to be. Just because you're married doesn't change and make you guys one person or put them on the same level or want to do the same things or anything like that. So you try to offer it, you try to help, you try to encourage, but you got to let it go.
Listen, that is fact. The fact that you seem much younger than me, so the fact that you figured that out, it took me almost 20 years to figure out. So good for you that you figured that out sooner. I agree with that.
I always totally. I've been working on my family, and it's me against the boys in this house, and
the whole house is boys.
All boys, and nobody wants to listen to mom. So I'm just trying to lead by example, and then maybe one day one of them, two of them, three of them, four of them will catch on.
That's awesome. You and my wife have a lot in common because there is a lot of testosterone on in my house.
Hey, I gotta ask, both my brothers were college football players, and one of them was a lineman. So the advantage was to gain weight. And you do a lot of coaching too, youth coaching. How do you manage that where you want kids, to put on weight, but you got to do it safely and that's such a fine line.
So that's a really good point. So I have not had the coach since obviously losing all this weight, and it's put a new perspective for me. And and I'm not blaming. Football is one of the greatest things I've ever done in my life. I played high school, played Division III football, which is smaller NCAA football, and everything was geared towards being bigger, stronger. Nowhere did I ever hear the word healthy in any of my trainings with football ever. So I can't be a hypocrite now. I can't do the same sin of the fathers to the sons. I can't sit there and take what I learned and not pass it on to these kids. But I believe in football, you can get bigger, stronger, and also be healthy. I think it's a realistic option. And I think, believe it or not, if you look at college now and you look at Division I, and even the pros, linemen don't look like they looked when I was a kid. Like
right.
Some of these linemen, they take their shirts off and they're Adonises. I mean, they are just, physical specimens. And I love the NFL and where it's going with the heads up. Like I've been part of a heads up program and teaching kids how to safely play football because we've learned so much over the years that and I'm a big fan. I'm progressive. I wouldn't call myself old school when it comes to coaching. I love learning new things. So I'm going to bring some new stuff to my kids. I'm going to give them some new angles, some new things to kind of get into. So it's pretty cool.
It's unbelievable. I mean, I always say like losing weight and getting healthy is like the hardest thing to do because you think about addictions and it is a food addiction, right? Every other addiction, can just stop drinking. You could stop smoking, but you still have to eat.
Right.
Oh,
That's the point.
It's everywhere, right? So, I'll be honest, I'm not a drug user. So if somebody said, hey, go get drugs right now, I would be like, well, I don't know where to go. I could go to Wendy's right around the corner though. You know what I mean? Sorry, Wendy's, I didn't mean to throw you under the bus, but like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's very dangerous. Hey, Kimmy said it best. I'm not going to lie. Kimmy from the show, there's no such thing as cheeseburger rehab, and it's probably nowhere on a death certificate do you ever see died of overeating, but diabetes, high blood pressure, heart attack. I mean, there's sleep apnea. There's a million things that lead to your death that are caused by nutrition. And it needs it needs more awareness. And that's literally, again, that's like my life mission is to try to teach, groups of people and how to be healthier.
Well, we see it now with coronavirus too, like people that are more susceptible to viruses because of the problems with being overweight.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're okay. Go ahead.
No, I was going to agree. That's all. Sorry.
He was just going to give a thumbs up.
Thumbs up. No, I was just going to say, I do feel hopeful. I mean, if I look at where we were when I was a kid and now, I think we have had progress. If you look back 40, 50 years ago, I think we have progress just in terms of people being aware of what's going on, what's healthy. There being more options. There are more options for vegetarian or veganism. I think it is definitely hopeful. I just wanted to put that out there.
Except 40, 50 years ago, our parents ate such smaller quantities of food. There wasn't the obesity problem we have now. But now we have packaged foods and people are eating 4 times the amount that they should. And that's hard. And it's great that you have kids and you're a coach because you got to teach the kids young so they don't struggle with the problems their entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, like, I live in a very, I live in a diverse neighborhood. We're blue collar. And I see it in supermarkets. It frustrates me sometimes because,
Yes.
I'll travel to a Whole Foods, which is not in my neighborhood. I got to go out of my neighborhood to Whole Foods, and the healthy options are just everywhere. And then I go to my local shop, my local supermarket, and I got to dig to find tortillas that are half the carbs of the tortillas that are literally shelved,
Yeah.
eye level everywhere. So
And Whole Foods
there's
is
a
not
there's a
cheap.
weird, exactly. And then that's what it gets into. Like, it is kind of expensive sometimes to be able to eat the right way, and, again, education, helpfulness, explaining, like, even if you were to go to a fast food place, there's things you can get there that you're not making bad choices. So, again, that's my mission. That's my goal, and try to help as many people as I can.
Yeah. In my neighborhood store, maybe a third of it is fresh produce, and the rest of the store is, processed stuff on a box that sits on a shelf. And it's like, I think at this point I look at what I buy as kind of like a vote for what I'm asking for them to put back on the shelves and focus on and get more money. And I guess, I don't know, maybe some legislation needs to follow behind some of this too. Food for thought.
Listen, I'm in. You get that, because it bothers me. It really does.
Yeah.
It upsets me.
It
So,
shouldn't be that
yeah.
hard. So, but thank you. You certainly have
thanks,
given
Jim.
all of us so much motivation and inspiration, regardless of what size you are, to love yourself a little bit more. So thank you so much for sharing your story.
No, thanks for having me on. This is great. I mean, hopefully someday I can actually live meet you guys. You guys seem
Hey.
really cool. So,
Invitation is open.
Yes.
I
yes.
love it. Awesome. I've never been to Chicago. Never been there. Can't wait.
Oh, you gotta come. It's one of the
We'll
best.
show you all the
in world.
best restaurants. Oh wait, no, wait.
I was gonna say that's what we pride ourselves on, is the food in the restaurant. So make sure we
Listen,
catch
deep dish pizza.
Yes. Jim DiBattista, thank you so much for joining us. We certainly appreciate it. You guys, here's his Instagram, Twitter, and then, of course, check out Biggest Loser as well. It's so many people with these inspiring stories. He's the champion for 2020. You have a lot to be proud of, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
Best of luck.
Hey, let's talk really quickly. Obviously, June is Pride Month, not only here in Chicago, but everywhere. And in honor of the Stonewall Uprising back in 1969, each June, Americans celebrate LGBTQ Pride Month. And in recognition of Pride Month, CW26 and Aiken Law Office are celebrating Agents of Change. We want to hear and share your stories. Use the hashtag ShareYourPrideChicago. Tag us CW26 Chicago, or send us your Pride stories and pictures to jamreelshy@wciu.com. We'll be highlighting your Pride Chicago all month long. And love the folks over at Aiken Law Office. They always are marching with us when we have a parade. Fortunately, that's not the case this year, but they're always a big part of what we do here at the station in terms of Pride Month. Hey, obviously we've been talking a lot about what's happening with police and, calls for bringing brutality down, eliminating it completely in departments all across the country. Those are not new. But our next guest has a really interesting way to help retrain officers to help build stronger ties within our communities by actually using theater. That's really fascinating. Terry Grice is the executive director of Irondale, which is a theater organization. Terry, thanks for joining us today.
So much. Glad to be with you.
Theater and retraining, like I used to do improv, and you always say there's lessons for improv in every profession, but I hadn't thought about the angle of helping police officers through theater training. Tell us about it.
Neither had I, John, until I was watching that tragic Eric Garner murder some years ago, and you go through this and you're watching it, and you go through all the stages of grief. You go through anger, you go through frustration. And then, because I'm an actor, I started watching it as a theater piece. And I said, boy, that's some lousy acting going on there. They're missing cues. There's physical stuff that they're trying to talk to each other with their bodies, and that's being missed as well. And I had this harebrained idea that maybe by teaching people how to improvise, you could also teach them how to really listen. And what is so important for all of us, but particularly police officers, how to take new pictures, second to second to second to second, not to come in with a preconceived notion of, oh, I'm going to see this, therefore I see that, but to say, what am I seeing right now? And does it change from second to second? And that's what the good actor does. That's what the good improviser does. If I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you think of police officers, and depending on what city you're in, and I know you're in New York, and we're in Chicago, and these are these big gruff guys. How do they take to theater? Are they willing participants, or is it kind of a struggle to get them involved?
It's pretty amazing. They all come we interview everybody for about half an hour before we accept them. And they usually come in sort of like this, sitting back, arms folded. And if we say, do you know why you're here? And they say, no. Say, well, we're going to talk about a theater project. Theater. Nah, forget it. I don't do it. And then you get them into the workshop, and within an hour, they're singing together, they're playing together, they're doing mirror work together, and they jump right into it. And maybe it's this idea of, well, I'm here now, I do what I'm told because this is my job. And it is part of their job. They're paid to be in these workshops. They're stationed at the theater every Tuesday night for 10 weeks. But I've been actually amazed with how quickly they jump into the joy of it and the fun of it.
Mm-hmm. What do you hope I know you touched on it just a little bit, but I want to really paint the picture of how we think this can help in some of the violence that we see on our streets. It sounds like you're not only asking these officers to disarm themselves, emotionally, mentally, and how they present themselves to the world, but also being able to pivot in terms of maybe de-escalation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm asking them to listen, and not just listen with your ears, but listen dynamically with your whole body. Mm-hmm. So it takes a great deal of focus to be present in any conversation. And in a high stakes conversation, when I'm not only dealing with you, but I'm also I have to be aware of what's behind my back, what's to my side, what's coming down the street. That takes super focus.
Yeah.
And this is what we try to teach them how to do. How to multitask, how to handle multi-stimuli, and how to be very present in the transaction that they're in. So if something changes second to second, they're changing with it. Mm-hmm. They're not just holding on to a position. And it's very dangerous when people in any kind of communication transaction say, well, I said it, so you must have heard it. Mm. We know that's not true.
Right.
Somebody you just meet, you don't know what maybe they're hard of hearing. That's right. A very clear one. Yeah. So I've said it, and now that the person hasn't reacted to it, I'm going to put cuffs on them. But there are other signals coming back. There are other things that we can take in as information if we are aware second to second to second of what's going on that may change and may de-escalate the situation.
Have you heard from officers or departments in any way, or officials, that what you guys are doing has worked tangibly? Like there's examples of in the real world where now this is transferred?
Yes, I have a lot. I was talking to an officer the other day from probably the fourth round of workshops. So it was a couple of years ago. And I asked him, I said, what do you do? How does this affect you? He said, when I'm on the line and people are yelling in my face and they're screaming at me, I have learned to see beneath the rant. I've learned to see what they're really talking to me about, what they care about. And therefore, I don't rant back at them. So it doesn't become a pissing match. Mm-hmm. It just becomes this, I'm listening to you, I hear you, I acknowledge you, and this is where we're going next.
You're teaching them to be better humans. You're asking them to listen and take the ego, take the I out of the situation. What's actually happening to this person? They're not here necessarily trying to attack me, whatever my name is, me. They are here because there's some sort of issue. How can I help?
My focus as a communicator, my focus as an actor is always on the other person. Mm. It's always on the person I'm trying to communicate with, as opposed to what do they think of me. Once I get into that headspace of from an actor's point of view, once you start thinking about that, you get stage fright and you forget your lines and all that stuff. But if my job is to make you look good, whether it's in a scene or in the street, in a difficult transaction and a hard conversation to have, but if my job is I want you to look good, I want you to come out of this hole.
Yeah.
And I've I've gone a long way toward really communicating. And I was talking to a much smarter man than myself who said, communication doesn't really happen unless both parties are willing to change.
Mm.
Are you able to do this outside of New York? Are you working with other departments? Because I know you have the theater there, but it sounds like a great model that really the departments across the country could be using right now.
We're trying, and that it's a microcosmic project. We're working with 14 people at a time, and that is something to consider. We are trying to form an institute so that we can train artists from other cities to see these programs in Chicago, in Los Angeles, in Durham, North Carolina. We've gotten requests from all over the place, but of course, the thing that prevents it is funding, and we can't go to every city in the country. Our small theater company.
Yeah,
we can train people to do this. These are learnable, teachable skills.
Yeah, I think that because I did limited stage stuff in high school and college, but yeah, it's bright lights, it's on you. You've got to move things forward. There's pressure on you. People are watching. There is some similarities. Obviously, stage isn't life or death where a lot of these situations are, but there are things that mimic what are happening in the real world that happen on stage.
Sure. We very early on in the workshop process, we do a multi-stimulus game where you've got to balance three things coming at you. You've got to balance a movement, you've got to balance a phrase, and you've got to balance a name. And you've got to pass these three things around at the same time. And we're doing this in the very first workshop series, and I had no idea whether any of this stuff was going to land on them. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the exercise, I said, "So what's your takeaway, guys? Why do you think we did this?" He said, "It's just like being in a domestic situation." He said, "I have to talk to the wife while the husband is in the other room. My partner's in the other room. I don't know who's in the hallway. Somebody may have a gun in the house, and I've got to be aware of all these things at the same time." And I thought, oh, how brilliant of me to play this, to do this exercise, which fits so perfectly into what they're trying to accomplish.
Oh, you just seem so evolved. You are someone that I just want to sit here and talk to, certainly all day long. It also feels like I'm in therapy, you're trying to teach me how to see the world differently, how to think differently.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to be a better person myself.
Yeah.
And I don't think that ever stops. Is the program we're doing good enough? No, it's not. And one of the interesting things is right now, because of what's going on in the world, because of coronavirus and because of the demonstration, we can't do this project now.
Mm-hmm.
But
we need the most.
Yeah, we have to get people in a room together. What we can do is we have time to reflect on what we've done for the past 5 years. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to do some writing about it. I'm trying to, we as a facilitation team are trying to get better at what we're doing, and not saying, oh, we figured this out. Here's the model. Now we just sit back and do it. We've been going through a lot of hard conversations about our own prejudices, our own biases, what we bring to workshops. And it's exciting. It's hard.
Yeah.
But we're going to ask them to do it. We've got to do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Terry, thanks so much for stopping by. This is fascinating. I could really wish you guys luck, and hopefully we can get to as many departments as we can to give them this extra access to this training in this really clever and creative way. Thanks, Terry.
It's great to be with you. Thank you.
Thanks, Terry.
We'll put the information up on the screen for Terry and also the Irondale Center. There is all the information there for Facebook and for Instagram and the website too.
Yeah, I feel like I just watched like the science behind it all.
Yeah,
Science
interesting
theater
stuff.
and policing.
Thanks, Terry.
Really cool. Let's keep it moving, guys. I just wanted to let you know about Job Hunt Chicago before we get to our next guest. The show airs on the weekends, 10:30 on the U, as well as 4:30 on CW26 in the afternoon. And basically, we've compiled a list of jobs of people who are hiring right now. They want people to join their team. They need people to join their team. They are expanding despite everything that's going on in our world. They need your help. So if you are someone who's out there looking for a job, looking for a next opportunity, and maybe you've been affected by COVID, maybe you haven't been affected by COVID and things are already rough beforehand. Don't worry, because these people want you to be a part of their team. They're just looking for good, hardworking people who are willing and ready to learn, which is most important. So make sure you check out Job Hunt Chicago at these times. Of course, jobhuntchicago.com is also a good place to start, especially if you are an employer that actually has some opportunities you want to get out there. That's a good place to start to let us know as well. Okay, what do we have next, y'all?
Carlson.
We're all reading our messages.
Well, he's a former wide receiver turned model and became the first male winner of America's Next Top Model. Keith Carlos is joining us this morning with his son, Keith Carlos Jr. Oh, we're getting flipped over. Good morning.
Good morning.
Sideways on us, bud.
Wait,
There we go.
Everybody wait.
I'm stacked up on some things. Let me see if I could.
We understand that.
Trust us. Yeah.
What are you doing this morning?
I'm well. Yourself?
Oh, we're doing good. Thanks for joining us here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
What's that artwork behind you is stunning, by the way.
I had a fan actually in Louisiana create this and then drive it out to me.
What?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I wish I could remember his name right now.
Who's that beautiful lady right there?
Mrs. Carlos.
No, that beautiful lady.
Where?
In the picture.
Her?
Yes.
Yeah, Mrs. Carlos.
Oh, Mrs. Carlos.
I thought you
Yeah.
said this is Carlos. I'm like, no, the lady. Okay, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
So how was it getting on
John?
how was it being on the show? You know, you go football and then become a model and then it gets elevated. That must have been a real life change for you.
It was actually a smooth transition.
Was it?
Yeah, for sure. I was kind of on the edge or on the fence about football because I was burnt out and I was figuring out my next move. So it kind of happened right on time. So the transition was smooth, and I learned fast. So
How was that experience?
life changing. It was my first. Yeah, we filmed in LA and we filmed in Seoul, Korea, and that was my first time out of the country. So I got to go out there and experience that culture and while learning this whole new field of work. So it was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Which one do you like better? Whichever one is putting food on the table at the time.
Hey, yeah. Although football was a childhood dream, I'll say that I really enjoy modeling because there's a lot of layers to entertainment. So the acting and then the entrepreneur stuff. So it all works hand in hand, really. It's all entertainment.
I mean, I imagine but the modeling, well, I'm trying to say football is very cutthroat as well, but is modeling more cutthroat?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's like you have to have really thick skin and you have to really take things as a grain of salt. You're never good enough. That's modeling and acting. Like you're always on the chopping board and fighting for the next gig, and you're only as good as your last gig. So it's just one of those things.
How did it feel on the show when everyone else had to get a makeover, but Tyra told you got to be you?
It was a breath of fresh air, actually. Because,
He's like, I like my face. Don't change anything.
right. It's like either they like me or they don't at this point, because you feel left out, but at the same time you feel special because you were the only one that didn't have to get a makeover. So good thing I didn't have to get a face weave.
I didn't realize that was a thing. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Denzel, actually, they gave him like a lace front beard.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So did you had this football physique, did you have to like muscle down, for lack of a better word, slim down at all? Or were they accepting of that? Because usually, a lot of times especially these European designers, they want to have a guy on the slimmer side.
Yeah, for sure. At the time I was fresh out of football, so I was a little bulkier, but it worked. Nowadays, it's like if a designer likes you, they'll find a way to make anything fit you. So, nah.
They figured out you were not concerned.
You ever have to wear something that's ridiculous and you're like, oh my gosh, I would never wear this? And then how do you make that presentable with confidence when you know you don't like love it?
Well, you have to understand that you're a hanger. And I talk to the designer and I talk to the photographer and see what the mood is. And I just exude what they want pretty much. If I wouldn't wear a lot of the stuff that they do give us, you wouldn't wear. But if it's anything that's, goes against my personal brand, I won't wear it. I'll deny it. But to answer your other question, I would say the worst thing that I had to wear probably was on Top Model.
Yeah.
Our first runway show, we wore silly string.
And what else? And what
That's
else?
it. So you just had to cover up with silly string. So your genitals were covered in silly string and walk down the runway.
Yeah.
And that was just the most ridiculous.
I'll be Googling that later.
Guy. Yeah, you seem like a confident guy, but what was that like?
When you're on the show, the lights is on, it's kind of just like, let's hurry up and get through this. And that was it, just let me get through this.
When did you pivot to become an entrepreneur after you did all this stuff? Tell us about what you're doing now.
Oh, yeah. So I have a nonprofit called Make It Happen. It's something I always wanted to do. Make it happen. If you put make it happen together, it says keep in the middle of it. And make it happen was a word that my coach always used in high school. So I took that and now I'm giving back to the community under that. I have a production company. I create my own content, videography, photography. And help brands strategize social media content, etc., to build their engagement, etc. Also have a new CMOS. It's called Sela CMOS. Are you there? Okay, yeah. Sela CMOS.
Yes, I was ready to go with this.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, Sela CMOS. Huh?
What is it?
It's a red algae found in the Caribbean. I get them off the coastline, organically harvested from Jamaica. And it just has a bunch of nutrients. It's a super nutrient algae that you get, you clean, you blend, and I created gel out of it, and it has no taste, and you can blend it into your smoothies. Your skin being your biggest organ, you're able to put it on as a face mask. You're able to put it on as a hair mask. It has 92 of the 102 minerals that your body needs every day. B complexes. It's great for your thyroids, blood pressure. It's just a bunch of benefits that it has. I have those listed on the website as well, www.selacmoss.com.
Yeah, we saw John highlight the part that says increases libido.
You having a hard time over there, man? What's going on?
Need some sea moss in my life.
Yes.
Woo, yeah.
This product is trending. I've seen this online a lot lately. People doing this. Is it better? Do you know if it's better, like which form is consumed in? If it's like a pill form or powder form, or you said you have it in a gel form, right?
In gel form, yeah. Well, with the gel form, you're able to put it in your smoothies in the morning time. Okay. You're able to put it in your protein shakes. You're able to put it in your soups, your broths. So you can use it in a variety of different ways when it's in the gel form.
Why is this getting so popular now? Because I mean, clearly it's been around.
Dr. Sebi, he's the one who really coined it, and then that came into pop culture because he helped like people like Michael Jackson and Left Eye, who passed on now, but he helped them. And the late Nipsey Hussle, he spoke about Dr. Sebi, and it just blew up, and it's just taking a so.
That's so cool.
Hey,
I'm all about supplements too, by the way.
He is on board. You mentioned all these things that you're an entrepreneur for all these great nonprofit and companies as well. But what's it like being a dad? That's got to be a whole of the world.
Yeah, that's the top tier, top of the list.
Aww.
It's amazing. Yeah, I get to be who I always wanted. I didn't have a father figure like that in my life, so the fact that I'm a father now, I get to spend that time and create those memories and build this little person and his character, and I love it. Seeing that face every day is just inspirational.
How old is he now?
He's 2.
Oh, just wait another year.
Are
Are you trying to get him in the room right now?
Yeah, he's watching his cartoons. We are giving him a break, though. Yeah, we let him watch cartoons every other day, if that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Okay, during this quarantine, you're allowed to put anyone anywhere. Oh.
Say hello. Say hi.
Were you watching Paw Patrol or were you watching
What were you
Sesame
watching?
Street? What was it?
What were you watching?
Okay, go ahead, Amy, translate.
Okay.
A lot of people come on this show with all smiles and they leave crying. That's just
Right.
sometimes.
Like,
We're
you
used to it.
interrupted me for this?
Right. Amy's our child translator. Go ahead, Amy.
I actually didn't hear what he said. He was too far away from the mic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was the mic.
What was he watching?
Huh?
What was he watching?
Super Wings.
Oh, Super Wings.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Popular one too.
Yeah, he climbs up on the back of the couch and jumps off like he's gonna fly like a Super Wings. But he's very athletic, so he lands on his feet. He's been doing this since 11 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's your advice for people out there like you that have tackled so many different things? You know, you had to reinvent yourself a couple different times. If people are struggling to kind of jump off that ledge and try something different, what do you tell them?
Ultimately just believe in yourself and pray on it and act on it. Visualize yourself achieving at whatever it is you're seeking, and go get it. You know, the hardest part is always starting, and once you get started, you kind of just roll with it.
Yeah. Is your missus in the industry too?
She ran professional track for 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So we had the same agent. I met her in the gym, and that was 2011. So yeah.
Oh.
Well, you got some athletes.
Why'd you chuckle like that? Why'd you laugh like that?
I was because she could hear me and making sure my dates were right. One of those things.
Yeah.
And she also modeled for Wilhelmina as well.
Yeah, no, both of you all are gorgeous, and you made such a pretty baby.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Pretty baby.
And probably an athletic one too.
Yeah, for sure.
So you got him doing wind sprints yet, or what?
Oh yeah, he runs hills with us. He jumps off, like I said, jumps off of everything. He's already shooting the basketball and making it. He's just like, his motor skills are really good.
That's awesome. Are you gonna have more?
For sure. Yeah.
Oh.
Actually, I'm practicing right now. Practice is going really good. I'm in preseason. Due to COVID, some things got pushed. The season got pushed back. So hopefully soon.
Yeah, that's probably a good
Just
idea.
have a bunch of more sea moss. She'll have a bunch of them. It's all good. Keep on doing that. You're going to have 9 kids before the end of that sea moss.
That's actually my favorite number.
Moderation.
Well, Keith, it's been great catching up with you, man. We appreciate it. And thanks for bringing the kid on, too.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks for having me.
Let's get some of the information up on the screen for what is going on. There's Keith. Oh, and he's biting those sunglasses, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
How long did it take you to perfect that look?
That look right there.
Yeah.
What you do is, right, you just turn sideways and you just pretend you're looking at Tyra.
Oh, okay.
You gotta do your smizing.
Come here, baby. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Close your eyes a little bit more, John.
Just had a
He's
whole
a natural.
Just had a whole batch of sea moss. I'm ready for some fun.
Yeah. Looking like the old Spice Man over there.
Yeah. All right, Keith. Take care, my friend.
All right now.
Let's talk about your weather forecast here for today. It's sunny now where we are. That's certainly some good news. Amy's in the basement, so she can't quite tell. I think it's sunny by you, too. Had some heavy showers and storms move through the area through the overnight hours. But there you can see downtown, the Chicago flag, the pride flag blowing, but nothing like what we had yesterday. Wind goes up to 55 miles an hour. A lot of branches down on the streets this morning after yesterday's storms that rolled on through. Right now it's sunny, and I don't see much popping up on the radar, but there is just a little lingering showers and storms in the northern suburbs. Can't rule it out for the rest of the day, right? Like it's going to be continuing as that low-pressure system continues to move north. What's left of Cristobal as that continues to go. We still could see some showers back and forth. 82 degrees will be our high temperature. As we look at the next 7 days, we see we lose the dew points tomorrow. It's muggy out there today, but it gets more comfortable starting tomorrow. Temperatures fall as we get towards the weekend. A really chilly Saturday before things start to upswing and we get a lot of the humidity coming back Sunday, Monday into Tuesday.
Where did Miss Felicia Lawrence go to, John Hanson?
Well, I think it has to do with whatever surprise she is going to have for us, which she has mentioned. I think we're going to bring in some other folks of our friends. We got Deanna, we got Brandon hopping on in, and we got Krista. The triple threat, we got DBK coming in. Morning, guys.
Good morning. Good morning. How's it going?
Good morning, guys.
Boy, thanks for that enthusiasm, Brandon, to really keep us going.
It's still morning. How y'all feeling?
Still morning.
16 more
For
minutes.
like 15 more minutes.
Yeah. Hey, there's a really interesting article about people listening to music more than. Oh well, never mind. Let's not go to that. Let's get right to our new. Is this Vanna? Oh wait, I think I know who this is.
Yeah.
It ain't right. You're
You need
muted.
your microphone, Felicia.
Yeah.
You're
Microphone.
muted, Felicia.
Or your microphone doesn't work. How well, Vanna White doesn't do any
Mic.
talking on the show, so that's fine with us. She got unplugged. Oh, we're gonna have to figure this out. But she looks gorgeous. She's plugging in her microphone. Here she is, Vanna. How you doing, girl?
Yeah, I usually have someone to do this for me.
Changed your outfit and everything.
Yes,
Why
I
are you
wanted to
gonna-
really give it to you because we're gonna play some games. So I wanted to really set this up for you guys.
Oh,
Nice.
that's what the
Okay.
gown's for. That was
I like
Hey,
it.
Brandon, I'm trying to wake
That's
you up.
commitment, thief.
I am awakened.
Commitment.
Like
Hold
Marilyn.
on, you got to see the whole thing.
Yeah, you look like Marilyn Monroe.
Yes.
I mean,
Well,
you don't need pants. You got a dress, girl.
I do what I can, Amy. I do what I can.
Did you just
Good
change
look.
off screen, or did you run to your room and do it? Because
I had to have Teddy help me. I had to get help. Okay, let me look this up. So.
Well, it looks like it worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Are you awake now, Brandon?
Oh yeah, I've been awake. I'm woke.
all right, what are we doing,
I'm
Felice?
trying to wake you up here and bring the energy on.
Mm-hmm.
I got
Okay,
it.
are you guys ready to play this game?
Yes.
Okay.
Like usually John gets to host the game, but I was like, I'm trying out for a position, so I was like, I'm not gonna go with any shortcuts or anything like that. Okay, so you got to show up for the part that you want, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's get to this game. It's a multiple choice.
What's
Are
it
you
called?
ready?
The game.
I didn't know it had a name.
Your host audition is going.
Oh, it's the before quarantine game.
Or quarantine game.
I read that in an email somewhere.
Before quarantine game, and we're trying to test out to see what you guys remember before quarantine, also known as the multiple choice game.
Okay.
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 Raise your hand. You don't get to scream it out.
BQ. For
Yes,
quarantine.
yes, those are the rules. You guys love rules and everything. With my game, there are no rules. Okay, let's get started. Who was the last deep dish guest that we had in studio?
Ooh.
Amy. Okay, Amy first.
Mama Fresh?
That's the answer.
That
Yeah.
is great. Yeah, it was
You
Mama
got it,
Fresh.
Amy.
I just wanted everyone to know I was going to say that too.
And so was I.
Hold on, because it's not cute here. Let me try to get it cute.
Rappaport was fun though.
I was thinking Michael Rappaport because he was super.
was
No,
on
he
Friday.
was a while ago.
He
It was the week
before.
Well, it was a week or two before. Yeah.
It was All-Star Weekend, I think.
Yes. Yeah, because
All
we
great
had
guests.
Horace Grant. We had MJF, the wrestler, too. It was a busy day. Oh,
Yeah, that was a big week.
Okay, let's keep it moving, guys. Number 2, what was the Bulls score from the last game they played?
I knew
Anybody?
that was.
What is NBA?
Okay, John has his hand raised. Go, John.
It is B, 120 to 107.
Okay, who else has their hand raised?
So I got it wrong.
Brandon is too.
I'm gonna say it is A, 95-102.
Okay, well, any other guesses? Just at a process of elimination. Tiana.
Is it D, 108 to 103?
Ding, 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 ding.
Does that mean they won?
Yes. Well, the ding, ding, ding. Oh, did they win?
Did the Bulls win? Yeah.
I don't
That
think
was
We don't know, but we got the score.
I was assuming they lost. That's why I
Yeah,
picked
but
A.
that also wasn't the question. Okay.
no, I
I'm-
think they won. Didn't they win?
What,
Doesn't
Deanna?
matter.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay, wait a second. I'm the one that asked the questions around here. I'm the host. Pay attention to me.
Okay, we're paying attention. Go on, please.
Number 3 was who was it against?
Oh, come on.
Okay.
Can I call my brother in?
I thought you guys were the Bulls fans. What's going on? Go ahead. I think I saw John's hand first.
I think they play the Rockets last.
I think so too. No?
That's a no. Amy knows.
Is it the Cavaliers?
Yes. Ding, 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 ding.
Did you just guess, Amy? That was
I totally just
purely a
guessed.
guess.
I know she guessed. I know that's a hard
The
one. Okay.
Cavaliers were the worst team of those 4, so I was just assuming it was a beatable team.
Yeah. Well, you said it, Brandon. Go with that.
I am a Cavs fan. I know.
You said it just like a real Ohio boy.
I
Okay,
know my
our fourth
Cavs. They're
question.
awful.
Fourth question is, what was one of the last movies officially released in theaters? I know Brandon goes to the theater a lot. Amy, you got it? Brandon, you have it? Who has
I have it.
I have it too.
Brandon had it first.
Great.
It's B. Onward.
Okay.
But wasn't it just released on demand?
It has to be released in theaters. What you got, Amy?
Was it in theater?
I still believe.
Okay, what you got, John?
All of them. All the above.
Every time there's an all the above, it's always all the above.
Yes.
Unless it's the times that it's not all of the above.
It's not all of the above, though.
They weren't all released the same weekend or the exact same time.
Now,
Right.
wait a minute.
What is the
I don't
answer?
remember
Godzilla
Vanna
versus
White-
Kong was like months ago. Like
Vanna White and Pat Sajak, they don't get all this back talk, okay? So we're not about to do that on my show.
Yeah, this is why Vanna White only hosted for a week before they brought in somebody else.
Okay, I'm trying to be girl
Only-
Pat
It was
Sajak.
all
I
the
love
above.
it.
All right, what's
Bad
that?
Vanna.
Number 5, what was one of the last conventions that happened in the Chicagoland area? Do you remember before quarantine?
Ooh.
Ooh, I remember.
Was that Krista? Krista, did I hear ooh?
Amy.
Yeah.
I go first.
Oh, come on.
Come
Go
on.
ahead, Amy.
Okay, go Krista, because Amy's hand is just faster.
Well, I mean, I'm not even that confident, but I'm going to go with, I think it was the fishing and camping convention.
Okay. Amy, do you
The
know?
auto show
Yeah,
after.
it was the World of Wheels.
It was the World of Wheels.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Wasn't it
Fishing and camping got-
C2E2?
Fishing and camping got canceled. The boat show happened, but that's different.
Oh,
Yeah, Chris and I were on the same vibe. I thought it was a
Yeah,
fishing.
but I think they have some campers at the boat show, though, right? That's probably why you thought that.
Yeah, no, it's a.
Yes,
You have to be more
exactly.
specific, right? You should put fishing and
Okay.
camping, comma, not the boat show. You know?
Oh.
Okay. The less commentary, okay? What was the last holiday that we could celebrate in public? John.
Mardi Gras.
Yeah, Mardi Gras. Nice.
Yeah.
Remember, they
remember
thought a bunch.
because-
They thought a bunch of the cases came from Mardi
Oh yeah, that's the thing. I think
how I remember.
New Orleans got in trouble for that.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys, which celebrity couple announced before Chicago's lockdown that they had COVID-19?
Oh, wait, that's a different question we see on the screen.
Okay. What
I
was,
know
the,
the answer.
what was the last exhibit the Field Museum announced before quarantine?
I don't know.
Anybody? The
I'll go
Field
with
Museum. Deanna.
I was hoping you didn't pick me.
Just raising her hand to try to get in.
Okay. I think it was the D, Jurassic Ocean.
D, Jurassic Ocean.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
You know, because they got Sue out and everything, so she's not tired anymore. She's awake, so maybe that's part of it.
Sue isn't in the ocean.
Yeah.
No commentary, so I'm just. Zoop.
The commentary is the good part. I like back talking Felicia. It's great.
Let's see what the next question is.
I know this one.
Which celebrity couple announced? Okay, Amy.
It was Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson.
It was Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson. That's true.
Obviously.
That was a big one. He was. Everyone should have had their hand raised.
I couldn't even read all the answers before Amy had her hand.
I didn't even need the multiple
You're just
choice on
supposed
that
to
one.
know.
I didn't either.
You're just supposed to know, Brandon.
Yeah, we didn't need the multiple choice on that one.
Okay, we got a couple more and I want to get it in. What's up?
All right.
What's next? Which theme park closed its gates first? John?
Disneyland.
Disneyland. That's correct.
Yeah.
Disneyland. You get extra.
California was on top of that stuff early.
Mhm.
Florida has never been on top of that stuff.
And they're still not.
Have you been to both Disneyland and Disney World?
What's that?
Have you been to both Disneyland and World?
Just World.
I've only been to
World
Disney
for me.
World.
Never.
Which one's in California?
Land.
Disneyland.
Yeah, I've been to that one.
Oh, yeah. I've only been to Florida.
Okay.
That one. Okay, wait. We're almost done. Let's get the other question. What pre-made adult beverage did Costco start selling? Who I didn't see who raised their hand first.
You're not watching the rules.
Who raised it? Who was it?
I'm gonna take this one. B.
John,
Vanilla
wait.
shots.
Okay, well there we go. Krista just took it.
Am I right?
Nobody wants to play it, listen to the rules or anything. Were you Googling it, John?
Yes.
Was it Della shots?
Yes, it's Jello shots. Oh, did you guess 100%?
No, I had a feeling, but I just wasn't that sure, you
I
know.
think we ran a story on it.
I'm not sure, but the
It
answer.
rings a bell because your girl loves a Jello shot every now and then.
I mean, they're all good ideas to start pre-packaging.
Yeah.
I was gonna say make all of them.
I'm a
No,
Sam's
sir.
Club girl.
A what?
A Sam's Club girl. We go to Sam's Club. We don't go to Costco.
Okay, that wasn't an option. We're talking about Costco.
I just raised my hand at that point. I was like, I'll just, participate.
You know what? You guys are gonna show me the same respect that you show Pat Sajak, John Hansen, and any
Wow.
other host that comes up here. Okay, I'm not gonna be.
I mean, she put on the dress for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hello, it is a dress of authority.
I am with you.
You think I treat John like Pat Sajak?
Never.
Just having a little fun, guys. Thanks for joining.
I was going through all our jam videos just to make sure I was ready for this game. And there were like 2 questions about the jam. Felicia, what is this? I spent 15 minutes looking through our Facebook.
I
It was
appreciate
all
the
about
fact
the
that you know
jam.
that.
Yeah,
Oh,
who said it
yeah.
was all
Yeah, who
about the
said-
jam?
I don't think anyone said
I
that.
assumed it said jam knowledge, like a
You know
jam
what
quiz.
happens when you assume?
The
Mhm,
before quarantine email said so.
mhm.
No
You
one
gotta
reads
think of our
emails
viewers
around
on
here.
Facebook. You know, they want to play too.
Yeah.
I
Right?
know.
By the way, Patricia, our good friend of the show, she chimes in on Facebook. Every one of you need to take a long, slow walk in the sunshine. It will do you good. Patricia,
Right.
I think you're right.
Yeah, she's
Hello,
right.
I'm doing it in my gown.
But my hair is going to get bigger. I don't want to get my hair bigger.
Yeah, it's gross outside.
That's all the questions, right, Felicia?
Yeah, I'm done hosting. You can take it over, John.
So
Yay!
wait. Who won?
I did.
All right.
Did
We'll
you
go
won?
with-
Yeah, I think Amy won. She
I
just
just-
raised her
I
hand.
tied.
She raised her hand the
I think
most.
the hand raising system was flawed. I think we got to examine a different way to do that.
I think
Okay,
you need
guys.
to learn how to use your computers better because it works fine for me.
Yeah.
All right, John, take over. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, this has been a great show. Thank you so much for joining us. Coming up tomorrow, he's written for Jimmy Kimmel, Corporate, The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. We have writer and podcaster of a great podcast called I Said No Gifts. Bridger Weiniger is going to join us at 11:15. It's a really fun podcast, and I can't wait to talk to him. He's a really funny guy.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. We're going to have a good day. We'll get Felicia in another dress. Wait, are you okay, Felicia? What are you doing?
No, I'm really sweating, and I'm hanging this dress right back up. I'm not about to mess it up.
This
It's
is-
going right back in the closet.
This is what she does every commercial break. I'm so glad everyone else gets to see this now.
Okay,
This
this
dress is going right back in the closet.
Stop it. Stop doing it. They're going to get a screen grab of this. Stop it. Let's just
We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.
I've been caught doing worse, Deanna.
Bye. The new wave. Bye.
I've been caught